So I believe in a lot of crazy things. Bigfoot, for example, ghosts, Loch Ness. I think maybe at one time there might have been something swimming in a loch in Scotland. I don't know if anymore, but at one time. Anyway, I believe in quite a bit. But when the question of aliens and close encounters comes up, I've always been a little more skeptical. I mean, don't misunderstand me. I totally believe in the likelihood that life exists out there and that they might even be in UFOs flying around here. But do they come down here to Earth and kidnap us? Is there a massive government cover up? I don't really know. But what I do know is that when strange things happen, sometimes people they actually believe what they claim they see, and sometimes those people aren't alone. Today on Kind of Creepy, that's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be telling you guys the story of the Hopkinsville Goblins. This is an interesting one because you brought this up, Matt, and you said I want to talk about the Hopkinsville. What I don't even remember how you put it. Goblins is what I've always heard them
Yeah,
referred to
Hopkinsville
as.
Goblins. Yeah,
And I was like, okay, cool. It's a little different for us though, and you even
it's
said it's
actually
more almost.
it's got a couple different names. It's like the Kelly Goblins, the Hopkinsville Goblins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you even said like it's almost more like a spooky, scary time than it is because we don't have a lot of clips.
yeah,
We have some pictures, but it's a story and it's a good story. You guys should listen to the story and
yeah.
just sit back and enjoy. And then what we're gonna do is I'm gonna kind of run through the story as I've heard it, and then we're gonna discuss things as Matt's heard it and other things that Matt has heard. So I'm gonna get started on this little tale, and we're gonna for this one we're gonna have to jump way back to August 21st of 1955. There's a guy named Elmer Sutton who we will refer to as Lucky throughout this entire story because apparently that was his nickname. So Lucky and his wife Vera they work in a traveling carnival, which is just interesting enough to begin
Yeah.
with. But
Great setup on this whole story.
Lucky and Vera, which is probably where he got the nickname Lucky, they've been out on the road for some time and they have a bit of a break coming up, and Lucky he's been having a little bout of homesickness, so he says to Vera, maybe we should go to Hopkinsville, Kentucky, which for those of you who are wondering is about 4 hours away from me. So
Yeah.
just to let you know,
The hub of what do you call it? Tourism. Hub of tourism, Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
it is now
It is
probably.
now. Yeah. Which we'll get
So
to.
Lucky wanted to go to Hopkinsville. He wants to spend a few days at his family farmhouse where he grew up. Wants to spend a little time with his mom, Glennie, and his siblings who are still there. And Vera, she's like, cool, let's do it. And she suggests they bring along their best friends, Billy Ray and June Taylor. This sounds like an episode of Leave It to Beaver, but I swear to God, these are
It's the
their
real
names.
names. Yeah.
But
The names
she
in this
says,
situation are crazy too.
yeah, the
So
Glennie and Lucky and Vera and Billy Ray and June Taylor. Um, but she says, let's bring them along. We're going to make it a real family party. So Lucky's brother JC and his sister-in-law Aileen, they're already there along with some family friends. OP is already there as well. This is so crazy. And so, they're like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make it a big family event. So they all go. They get there. There's hugs and smiles and all that, and it was a real heartwarming time. Lucky, he has these like childhood memories. He's really looking forward to having his mama's home cooking. He's really looking forward to this whole thing, and they're all enjoying themselves throughout the day. And the evening rolls on, and the group, which I think it totals 11 people at this point. There's like 11 people in the house at this point. They all gather around for dinner, and they eat, and the adults they all decide they're going to settle down and play some cards. And this is exactly what Lucky's kind of hoped for. But that's when everything kind of goes kooky, right? It's getting into the night. Everybody's having fun. Imagine you're at a family reunion, man. You're all like, you're chilling. You just ate. You're all sitting down playing some games. And then Billy Ray, who we probably both have somebody in our family name. I do have a Johnny Ray. We probably do have somebody named something similar to that. So Billy Ray, he's like, I'm going to go outside to the well. I'm going to go out to the side to the well, and I'm gonna fetch a pail of water. But
Billy Ray went
seriously,
out to the well and fetched a pail of water.
Billy Ray goes out to the
OP came
well.
out.
This is true. So the story or the image you're seeing on the screen now is more current. It is private property now, so these people had to take the picture from a distance, but that's where the old well was in like conjunction. The house is not there anymore either. I actually don't know if this is a new house that's built or what the deal of it is. But Billy
I'd
Ray
say they
goes out.
probably had to upgrade it a little bit.
Yeah, but yeah, which if you saw, it's but it is in
Which
Kentucky, so
we'll get to this, but they probably had to remove some of the gunshot holes. So
it is in Kentucky, so it might. So he goes out, he gets some water, he comes back, and he's got this look on his face like he's just seen a ghost. And the others, they start asking him what happened, and he starts telling this story about seeing multicolored lights shooting across the sky, and he sees this round metal object flying through the sky as well. So of course they think, this is all just a big joke. But it didn't really take him too long to realize that Billy Ray he's not kidding around. He's very serious. So they all try their usual explanations, shooting stars, airplanes, but Billy is adamant that this was more than any of those. He knows what he sees. It's a UFO. He saw the lights, he saw the metal object. He can't explain it. So Lucky, he's like, I'll go outside with Billy. He can show me where he's seeing the object, and maybe I'll see it too. So the two head outside, right? And when they come back in, this whole story gets a lot weirder because they claim something came out of the woods. And what they describe is really peculiar. They say it's around 4 feet tall, large, oversized eyes, and oh yeah, they claim it's glowing. So remember, this is 1955. This would freak anybody out. So they said it approached them, and as it did, it seemed to almost float, and it had its arms up in the air, right? And it's coming at them like arms up in the air. I just picture that scene of E.T. Like,
ET.
which actually a lot of those movies were supposedly inspired by this story, so it's very possible. Um, so Lucky screams. He grabs Billy Ray's arms, and the two men, not his arms, his arm. He doesn't grab him, grabs him by the arm, and they run back into the house. They slam the door shut behind him. So the two of them call it a goblin, which is why it's referred to as the Hopkinsville Goblins. They call it a goblin. And they don't really know what it is. They kind of think it's some kind of goblin. They don't know. And Glennie, she hears their story. She hears them all going off, and she's starting to get a little aggravated. Right? She's getting aggravated at their story because she thinks that they're trying to scare everybody, and she doesn't want them scaring the kids. So she sends the youngest members of the party off to bed. She's like, "You guys go off to bed." Now I'm still trying to figure this whole thing out because you've seen the pictures of the house. It's not very big. I don't know if all 11 people are still in the house, but Lord. So Lucky and Billy, they insist. They're like, no, this is real. It happened, and we're actually getting a little freaked out by it. So we're going to stand guard. So Billy, he grabs a 22 rifle. Lucky grabs a 12 gauge. And they make their way to the front and back doors of the house. They're going to stand guard against this little glowing goblin with its hands up. It's like, I surrender. Oh, God. So Glennie goes up to Billy Ray, who's standing at the back door, and she asks, what's this all about? What's going on? And Billy reportedly replied, Miss Glennie, I hope you don't have to find out. Which I just love. Miss Glennie, I hope you don't have to find out.
Real proper.
So Glennie, she goes to walk away. She's still a little aggravated, but as she goes to walk away, she sees something standing in the doorway. Like she looks back and it's standing in the doorway. She says it's about 4 feet tall with oversized eyes and pointy ears. She screams. Everybody jumps, including Billy Ray. He then snaps into action. He raises his gun and pulls the trigger. And the screen door explodes. But he missed the figure altogether, and it runs away, quickly runs off towards the front of the house. So Billy Ray rushes out onto the porch. He's scanning, looking throughout the night for signs of movement anywhere. And that's when he claims a hand reaches down from on top of the house in front of him from the roof. And it's like, I don't know if it swings at him or grabs at him, but Aileen, she sees this. She grabs him. She yanks him back inside. And that's when Lucky raises his shotgun. He aims it up at the roof, and he pulls the trigger. There's a noise, something rolls off the roof, and then it jumps up and runs off into the woods. So at this point, JC's like, nope. So he arms himself with a shotgun as well. He sees glowing eyes and a clawed hand peering at him through one of the windows, and he fires off a shot. That window explodes. Billy Ray, he says he saw it as well, and then he squeezes off his own shot at the window. I don't know how everybody in the house isn't getting shot.
I know, this is straight up chaos. The fact, by the way, let's also mention, this is the Appalachians.
Yeah.
So this many guns in a house, not uncommon.
Well, it's 1955 out on a farmhouse too. Let's keep that.
And your house is now under siege by little green men that are glowing in the dark with glowing red eyes.
Yeah.
I would probably be popping off a few rounds every once in a while too.
Right. Totally justified. So. Yeah. So he fires off a shot of his own, and they claim like the creature was right there, right in front of him. There's no way they could have missed, but this thing didn't go down. Instead, it flips backwards and then runs away. And in my head, like I
can picture all of this.
It's just insane, but I do. I picture it. Yeah. So at this point, Lucky's kind of scared for the safety of the family, probably because gunshots are going off.
Yeah.
So he tells Aline, and June, he says, take the kids into the back room of the house.
We're going to be shooting towards the front.
Yeah, he then tells OP and JC to stand guard, and he and Billy Ray, they step outside to survey the scene, right? So they go out on the front porch, and they barely make it like 10 feet before JC begins to yell from the front door, there's something up in the maple tree. And can you imagine looking up at a tree and seeing a little man with giant eyes and pointy ears wearing a metallic suit looking back down at you? Because this is just crazy.
And it's not the first one you've seen for the night either.
No. And according to JC, OP, Glenny, Billy Ray, and Lucky, all of them, that's exactly what they see. They see a little man with big eyes and pointy ears up in the tree. So Lucky fires off another shot. I get it. At this point, why bother? I don't but you got a gun, you might as well.
Yeah. You know that it's not affecting them at all,
But yeah, sure. I mean, it doesn't seem to work. In fact, it didn't hurt this one either. They claim this figure floats down to the ground and then floated away. At that point, another creature emerged from the side of the house, and they shoot at it too. And this time they say they hear the sound of ricocheting metal, and this creature also runs off. So at this point, they feel pretty helpless, they're pretty scared, and they all retreat to the house. And finally, OP points out the obvious. Look, the guns, they're not working, guys. They're not working. But he does notice that whatever they are, they didn't seem to be coming near any of the lights. They seem to be staying out of the lights. So he's like, maybe they're big eyes. Maybe their big eyes are sensitive or something. So they turn on every light in the house and they wait. All right. So time passes in complete silence. Everybody's totally quiet. And then once again, some scratching begins to come from the roof. And once again, Lucky runs outside, points his gun at the top of the house, and fires at the creature there. And what I like
waking up the kids in the back.
What I like about this story is that, for as ridiculous as parts of it sound, the fact that they keep saying like our guns didn't hurt it, but we kept shooting at them, that seems something.
I probably would too.
What else you gonna do, right?
It was like, it's the only way I could possibly defend myself right now is shooting at these little creatures. But
there's a classic, the old black and white George Reeves Superman, right? There's I love it so much. There's a real classic scene where this guy, he's standing there with his arms on his sides, and this guy's shooting him, and you see the pew, 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 the bullets ricocheting off. The guy runs out of ammo, and he throws the gun at him. I swear to God. And the funniest part about this clip is, it's being filmed by real people, so they're animating the gunshots. When the guy throws the gun, he's like, whoa. And I'm like, so wait.
Did you throw a real gun?
Yeah, but you're okay getting shot with bullets, but better dodge that gun. That might hurt. Because in real life, But that's all I can picture here. Is like, well, what do you do when you run out of bullets? You just chuck the gun at him because what else are you gonna do?
Which that's become a bit of a trope in some movies. Every once in a while, is you run out of bullets, throw the gun.
Throw the
So,
gun. You know what else? I mean, what are you gonna do?
yeah,
So he shoots at
can't
this
reload it
creature.
at that point.
Yeah,
Does it?
he shoots at this creature up on top of the house, and he says this one floats down as well, and then runs off into the trees. Again, completely unharmed. So we're seeing a pattern here. These things are like almost teasing them. They're coming, they're shooting at them, and then they run off. It's just over and over again. So at this point, Lucky's had enough. Everybody's scared. The children, they're crying. It was clear that these quote unquote goblins, they're not going to be deterred. So it was time that the family makes a break for it. So they wait for the coast to be clear. Everyone runs for their trucks. They all pile in as fast as they can. The entire party, they hightail it away from the family home. So I want you to set this next scene in your head. It's late at night. You're a cop. You're sitting behind the desk at a police station in a small, quiet town, right? Small, little, quiet town. Suddenly, 11 damn people burst in shouting stories about bulletproof goblins and metal objects shooting across the sky, which is
In the
exactly
Appalachians, and your
what
first thought is moonshine. Someone is drunk on moonshine.
even the kids. Um, so
Or
the
that old
sergeant
Mountain Dew.
working the front desk at the Hopkinsville police station, he doesn't know what to say about this. He didn't believe the story, of course, but he did believe that something had happened, and whatever had happened, it had these people completely terrified. So the sergeant calls in Chief Russell Greenwell, who, after hearing the story, called Kentucky State Police, the Christian County Sheriff's Office, and Fort Campbell Army Base. They all get called. And what you've been seeing on the screen as we go throughout this is Matt's been putting up there are articles all over the place. Like,
Yeah.
this is all well documented stuff.
Yeah,
It's
this
all
had
out.
police reports of
Yeah.
this.
Yes. Now remember, this is a small town, so commotion like this is going to stir a lot of pots quickly. I even venture to say it's very possible that the sergeant himself made a few phone calls after these people left. But in the end, a local paper got wind of the events, and like an hour or so after showing up at the station, so probably like an hour, the entire group returns to the farm. But this time they go back with a half dozen law enforcement agents and members of the press. Now it's been an hour, so it's still nighttime. It's like it's like what 3-4 o'clock in the morning at this point. I think maybe I don't even know if it's that late yet. So they all go out, they search the property, and they don't find any goblins, but they do find some pieces of the story that seem to check out. There's holes in the windows, the screen door is it's erupted, and there's shotgun shells and bullet casings everywhere. And they claim the ground near where Lucky had shot one of these beings was stained with this iridescent substance that you could see from certain angles. So the officers question the family members one by one. They take them separate, and they get the same description or very similar description of the night's events from each one of them.
This process took hours because there was like 11 of them. So
Well, there's half a dozen officers. Maybe they each pulled. I don't know,
Yeah.
but you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's growing late. They decide to call it a night after a couple of hours of an investigation. So at that point, the police, they're like, nothing's going on. We're gonna call it a night. We're gonna leave. So I think it is earlier now. It's I don't know. It's probably midnight, 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. So believing that the ordeal's finally over, the family, they attempt to go to bed. But one more visit happened that night. So it's better. Yeah. Okay. So I have a timeline here. It's probably the police leave. It's probably about 2 or 2:30 because about an hour later, it's somewhere around 3:30 in the morning. Glennie, she's tossing and turning. She's trying to fall asleep, but she's not really. She's getting a little doze here and there, but not really falling completely asleep. She sits up in bed. She looks towards the window, and there it is staring back at her. Another goblin. Lucky was asleep on the living room couch when he heard his mom call out. He rushed in just in time to see this little thing run away. So Lucky and Billy spent the next couple of hours awake, standing guard with their guns.
that do nothing.
I don't even know, man. It's like I might stand guard with a sandwich, be like, here, like
Yeah.
this
What do you
might work
want?
better.
Some Reese's
I don't.
Pieces? It's like,
We don't have any. Um, so Lucky and Billy, like I said, they stand guard for the rest of the night. Finally, the sun breaks over the horizon, and everything is done. So, in the days that follow, dozens of UFO fanatics they start to show up at the farm. The whole thing's becoming just another carnival for these guys to work. Reporters,
nice.
onlookers. On top of that, Glennie was scared to sleep at night, which rightly so. And
Everyone's shooting
harass-
guns in the house. I'd be kind of afraid too.
harassment starts, name calling, things like that. So eventually, they decide they're going to sell the property, and Glennie moved into an apartment in town. Um, we'll get back to this in a second because I really want to say how this speaks on the evidence, the truth of this whole thing. But in 1969, a pair of writers approached Lucky. They told him they were intrigued by his story and wanted to know if he could give them more information. So he took them back to where the family home had been. There wasn't much left. The well was left where Billy Ray had gone to fetch water that night. And there was a strange, unexplained circular impression in the ground. Now, there's supposedly a landing site or a crash site out there. This is a modern day, like 4 or 5 years ago, picture of the supposed site where it landed. I don't remember them in their story saying anything landed or where that they saw it land, but I don't know. One last thing. The night the family claimed to encounter this whole event, it's worth noting that a neighbor about a quarter mile away said they noticed lights in the woods behind the Sutton family farm. They also heard the gunshots throughout the night. At the time, this is so weird. I guess it kind of makes sense, but he said at the time he wrote the gunshot sounds off as maybe them hunting or shooting bobcats that might have been attacking their livestock. So all night apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah. So what I'm saying is, I want to get a couple points in here. First of all, someone else saw lights and can verify hearing the gunshots throughout the night. So they were definitely shooting at something. The other thing is, this isn't a case of somebody trying to get famous or rich. They didn't get any of that. In fact, they got ridiculed. This was a time where saying these sorts of things would actually get you outcast, not any kind of attention. So I can see lots of reasons not to go tell anybody, but they just thought, hey, this thing happened. Like, this thing happened. We got to go tell the cops. That's just what they did. The story is insane. Okay. And some of the details are insane. And there have been lots of explanations. People are like, oh, they were horned owls. And horned owls are large and have big eyes and kind of pointy ears. And they are territorial. They will.
And they're impervious to gunshots, apparently.
And they glow. And
Yeah.
they
But
do
I mean,
back-
that would kind of, explain the floating down to the ground.
floating, though? Do they float? They fly. Like, to me,
Yeah,
there's
but
a
they're
big difference.
okay. Owls are notoriously like silent, so you wouldn't hear like wings flapping. But these are also people who live out in the woods.
Yeah.
They're used to seeing things like that. They would go, "Oh my God, our house is under attack by a dozen owls."
Right.
Which that's way too many owls. Like you never see more than one owl usually. Like
but coming at your front
12
door.
of them that you're shooting at and are still coming at you and are looking through your window after they've been shot at
If these
hours
were
later.
owls, this is still a paranormal event because
That's terrifying. Yeah.
owls do not react like this. They don't come at your windows.
They would fly away.
Yeah, they don't do that. So
And they're also not going to attack humans like that. Like maybe if they had
they will attack
horrible like rat problem in this
they
house.
are territorial.
Yeah.
So if you are in their territory, they might swoop down at you, things like that. But
that house has been there for a while. They didn't just build it the day before.
Yeah.
So I'm calling BS on owls. The owl theory is just no.
Yeah, I agree. So here's the thing I will say about this, and this is my stance on it. I don't know what happened to him, but something happened.
Something happened.
they experienced something. Now, I don't think there's any doubt that they experienced something. It's just, were they little weird goblins from space? Nobody really knows. What's really interesting is they took several of them aside and had them describe what they saw, and they had an artist draw based off of the descriptions that they gave, and we have some of those drawings, and you'll notice a lot of similarities, a few vague differences, but that would just be, in how people describe,
Yeah.
that's not that common. It's nighttime. But I think the key factors are all the same. The biggest key factor is the height and the eyes and like the long arms and stuff. You'll notice. So each one is the same artist, but a different person.
And there's description notes for each of the features that
So
they
this
have on the
one,
side.
Miss Langford, Miss Elmer Sutton. Does that say Elmer? And Mrs. J.C. Sutton all gave this description. And yeah, there are notes and stuff on the side
Yeah,
where
this was drawn by Andrew Bud Ledwith from a description of Mrs. Langford, Mrs. Elmer Sutton, and Mrs. J.C. Sutton.
yeah. And then if you go to the next one, this is the same artist, but again, this is Billy Ray's
Yep.
description. And again, the eyes very similar, the ears very similar, long arms, height. He mentions antennas, obviously, but it would also depend on. Remember, Billy Ray and Lucky, they're out there more. The others are seeing it through the windows, through the and then we have a third drawing, and this is I'm not going to say is Andrew
This
Ledwith.
is the guy that drew it. It's Andrew
So this
Ledwith.
is
He drew all
and
three of these. Yeah.
JC and OP. So this is their description.
Yeah.
Again,
This is
ears, eye.
description from Elmer, J.C., and O.P. Baker.
What's
Elmer
weird
Sutton, J.C. Sutton, and O.P. Baker.
what's weird about it is, so let's say Matt and I both concoct a story, and then we get pulled aside one by one.
Yeah.
We'd have to have things real. Like I think we talked about this last week too. You have to have your story real in check, because even
Yep.
between two people, like, your story can differ. These drawings are like, only one person said little antennae. Okay, fine. But
I wanted to look at something here too.
the key factors are very similar, and I think that's just crazy, man. Again, we've got the same artist drawing all three, but he's drawing it based off descriptions. I'm curious if they all three describe the eyes. All three of those eyes look exactly the same.
Yeah. Now, I wanted to look at something because something we'll talk about later on. What was the description of the feet like? Two of the three descriptions, they don't describe the feet at all, or they said that there was none. They couldn't see the feet. This one, they see the feet, and they say that you can see it in the lower right corner there. It says feet are circular like suction cups. That is different from descriptions made later on, years later, even, and we'll get into that. But yeah, I was curious about that. Like, this is the only drawing that's slightly different, and like you said, he's describing antenna, and he actually sees the feet versus everybody else's. So
But this is also Billy Ray, who probably had one of the closest encounters
yeah,
with
he
it.
was right up on him.
He was the first one to see one. He saw them probably the most, besides Lucky. So he and Lucky saw them the most, and I just think it's fairly telling that we have so many similarities. The kind of slit mouth, the eyes that to me almost look like dials.
Now
It's
that is also in future reports that they've had, and not just it's not just this one family. For the record, we'll get into that a little bit later on. But there's been the possibility of them being goggles, which is why they have like the lines and the little striations along those. So that's not their actual eyes possibility. It's possibly goggles. So
And it's when you hear their version of the story and these things doing like backflips off, it's almost like they're messing with them.
Oh yeah, 100%. They're messing with them. Yeah.
So what if these are just like fucking teenage space goblins that like
Oh yeah,
stole
absolutely.
like
Yeah.
like let's go down and mess with these locals and
Yeah.
spook the shit
Now,
out.
okay, you just said locals, and I feel like you were probably trying to avoid a specific word that these people were probably being described as around the time, possibly even in the press.
I was not avoiding any word. I
Oh,
was
okay.
just calling them locals.
Yeah,
Were you gonna call them
they're
yokels?
local yokels,
Local yokels?
but also the potential use of the word hillbillies on this too,
They are
because
straight. They're straight up
they're
hillbillies.
straight up hillbillies.
Listen, and if you want to attack me, that's fine. Most of my family come from the hills of
Yeah,
Kentucky.
he
My
is a
dad will
hill
tell
person
you.
himself.
My dad will. Well, I'm not. I'm from my heritage, I guess. But
Yeah,
my dad will tell you. He loves to say it. He's like there are hillbillies and there are rednecks, and we are hillbillies. It's like we are not rednecks. Um, and yeah, I mean,
but yeah, I mean
hillbillies, people that came from the hills. It
the
doesn't.
criticism that they would get, and like being kind of generalized as, you know, that type of person. They're like, yeah, we don't believe those people. They're
So
seeing all kinds of stuff up in the hills.
here's what I'll say about that, though.
Yeah,
The criticism is going to come because they're uneducated. These are uneducated people. They
correct.
It's
They're
the
carnies.
50s,
At least one of
and
them's a carny.
as adults, maybe some of them didn't even. Well, no, at least 4 of them are carnies.
Oh,
Um,
I missed. I didn't make that connection somehow. So,
Lucky, Vera, um,
but
Billy
think
Ray,
about
and
that. If you're a carny and you're reporting something like this, think
then
of
you
the
can
stuff
just
that you see on their regular basis. Just like, first off, you're running the midway, like that's people watching right there, both on this side of the game and the people running the game. Like you're seeing some stuff.
yeah.
Because I've been to many a traveling carnival myself. I mean, come on, you can't look like this and not have been to
Yeah,
a
you look
carnival
like
once
you
in a
work for
time.
traveling carnival.
Oh
It's
yeah, yeah, dude, that'd be the life, but also terrifying because I've heard some things. But if something like stands out to you on this level, as somebody who is in that profession, who legitimately is seeing every part of society at these carnivals, and
kind of like me at the Traders World Flea Market yesterday.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not kidding, man.
just walking behind Stu.
I was standing there going, they have the people of Walmart website, but this just puts it to shame. So
Yeah, I've been
yeah,
to I've been to Traders World with
yeah.
Jay. It
But
is
Matt's
it's
point is
intense. Yeah,
you're seeing crazy stuff all the time.
yeah. And
So
if something stands out to
you're
this
seeing crazy
level,
fake stuff.
yeah,
Because you're going to have, carnival sideshows and stuff. You're
yeah,
used to it.
yeah,
But that's what I was saying. Just because they're uneducated, like maybe most of them finished high school, maybe some didn't. Probably none of them went to college of any kind, or not that kind of. But they are used to being on the farm. They are used to being out in the woods. They are used to the local wildlife,
yeah,
which it goes back to the whole owl thing. They've seen owls before.
yeah.
They know the difference. And owls don't glow. Owls don't have metal ricochet sounds when you shoot at them. You know,
Armor plated
that's
owls sounds
they
dope as hell, though.
they it does. They might be uneducated in one form, book learning, we'll say,
Yeah,
book school learning, but they are educated in the area they live in. They know what's going
yeah.
on
You
around.
could take somebody from the city and put them out there on this farm, and they're going to struggle.
Happens all
But
the time.
meanwhile, JC and Lucky and all these guys, they're going to run circles around anybody who's not from that area, and they're going to have a completely different life experience. Life experience versus a school education is two totally different things, no matter where you're from. So I mean, like if I were to go and visit these guys, they would be putting me to shame on some stuff. But if they were to come here, I'd be putting them to shame.
There's a
Could
very
be.
good chance I'm related to a couple of them, but
Yeah.
they would still put me to shame. I'll tell a real quick story, but years ago. So like, I was born in Cincinnati, and like I don't really notice an accent. People tell me all the time they actually have a hard time figuring out where I'm from. Probably because I lived here and I lived in Colorado for years, and you just pick up the colloquialisms of multiple places. And my dad has his, although it's kind of gone over the years, he had a little bit more of an accent, but he moved here when he was really little. So my last name is Caudill or Cadill. We say Caudill, but it's whatever. And around here it's very common. Well, in Colorado, I never met a single other Cadill, but here they're all over the place. And my dad was always like, "It's Caudill or Cadill. It's not Coddle." Because around here you hear Coddle all the time. It drives him nuts. So years ago, we go to a family reunion in Kentucky, which was not usual, but we did. And I met a bunch of family I'd never met before. And we walk in. My dad's name is Terry, and his middle name is Wayne. We walk in, and all I hear is, "Terry Wayne Cottle, get your butt over here." And I laughed so hard because the look on his face, because he's like,
He just turns bright red. And he's like, "Oh,
we're not Coddle, we're Caudill." And it's Terry Wayne Cottle.
Terry Wayne.
So,
T.
So some of those people are in my family, even if I don't speak to them. Like that was the only time I really met some of them.
I've got some in my family as well.
I bet you do. Hey, I don't want to. I joke. I live in the tri-state area. I mean, it's very urbanish, like technological, but I live very close to things that aren't. And Matt, I mean, he lives in Missouri, so you guys can take some guesses that he lives very close to nothing as well. So,
yeah,
he lives very close to Kansas City, and also very.
But
close
it's not hard to go to places that are fairly close, that are deep in the holler, as they would say.
God, this dude I met years ago, he's like, this is when I was in Colorado. Where are you from again? Idaho. I'm like, Ohio. Iowa, Ohio. Every time he'd get, and he wasn't being a jerk, he just kept getting it wrong. And he's like, "Do they have like potatoes?" I was like, "No, that's Idaho. I'm in Ohio.
We have Bigfoot."
He's like, "Cornfields?" I was like, "Yeah, there's. I don't live. I mean, I live near them. I can go see a bunch of cornfields, but like, it's not.
Like, we've got Buckeyes.
We have Buckeyes. We have. It's you're making me do these tangents. Okay, I'm on the cruise ship recently, and there's was a comedian, and he gets up and he's like, "Hey, I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio," and like a bunch of people lose it. And he's like, "Yeah, a lot of people from Ohio on cruise ships." He's not wrong. And he goes, and then in the middle of the theater, he goes, "OH," and of course, yeah, but like only people from Ohio or no Ohioans even know what the hell. Everybody's like, "What?"
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we don't know. Dude, we don't know why we do it. We just yell OHIO.
Weird tangent. At my grandmother's funeral, this is a real thing that happened, and it took me off guard because I did not know this was going to happen. One of her former students or coworkers, she was a substitute teacher and had retired from doing all that. One of them got up and said M-I-Z, and a bunch of the people in attendance went Z-O-U. I was like, "What is happening?" I was like, "Oh, Mizzou." They all had graduated from, the University of Missouri, and it just was just their way of kind of like paying tribute to my grandma, which I thought was kind of awesome. So
it is kind of cool, but it's weird. Like if you're not, nobody else knows.
So what we're saying is, if you're from the Midwest, we like to yell things out in crowds.
We do like to yell things.
Yeah,
that's very bizarre. So yeah, these guys, like I said, they know what's local. They know the local wildlife. They know what's going on, and to them, this is like, hey, what we're seeing ain't right. So
and honestly, the bobcat theory is kind of, I mean, it was just the neighbor who's saying, maybe they were shooting at bobcats. There's a possibility that it could have been, something that was misidentified, but
I just don't think
bobcats are way more aggressive than owls.
Bobcats don't float from trees and ricochet bullets and do backflips. And
I mean, I've seen it. They are pretty athletic, like jumping wise.
They don't stand in your doorway, and they don't peer through your windows, and they don't. Yeah, it just doesn't. I don't know. Yeah. So this is what I know. This is the story I know, and Matt has more. Matt wants to add a little bit. So apparently, this is not
It's not an
a one-off
isolated incident.
situation. Yeah.
It is absolutely not. So, but we're going to take a little break and we'll come back and discuss that more here in just a moment.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the part of the show where we ask you to do things for us because you are great. I didn't get much sleep.
That sounds very similar to please subscribe. It's pretty great.
It's pretty great. Nobody knows what we're talking about, but that was a madism that I made fun of for a long
Never
time.
listened to a podcast? Just check out ours. It's pretty great.
So I actually didn't get much sleep, but this is the part where we ask you a few things. The first thing we'd like to tell you is, hey, if you want to leave a comment or something, if you want to talk to us in any way, shape, or form, you can do that. You can leave a comment, of course, on the show itself here on YouTube. Or you could send us an email, and that's a really cool way to get a hold of us, too. Email us your stories, your ideas, your thoughts, your weird pictures, your weird paranormal pictures.
I mean send whatever you want.
Yeah, you can send it, but I can't,
Can't guarantee we won't laugh at it.
I probably won't.
Depending on what it is. We know.
But you can send us your emails. That's a cool thing, too. Other things you can do for the show that will really help us out a whole bunch is you can like the show. And that's pretty simple. There's what you can see down there is a thumb. You just click that. That means you like us, and we appreciate that because we like you too. You can share this with friends. You can copy the link or whatever, send it on over wherever you want to. Email it to your bestest buddy and be like, dude, watch this because it's stupid, but you should still watch it.
Talking about goblins.
And you can subscribe, and we'd appreciate that.
We've been getting more subscribers as days go on too, so thank you all for that.
That's a good thing. It would suck to get less.
It's happened a couple of times,
Yeah,
some people go, I'm done with this. It's like one person did that.
These guys suck.
I'm going to be the one person who unsubscribes.
It probably is like somebody watches like our Bigfoot debunking the debunker, and we say something they just vehemently disagree with, and like, I'm done. But we try to be pretty open about that stuff. Like, these are just our opinions, not our facts. We give facts when we get them, but the rest is opinion. So you don't have to always agree with us. It's okay. And you don't have to get angry if you don't. We would love the discussion. Like, I don't understand when people get all mad. It's just like, let's talk about it. It's okay. It's what we want to do. There's our socials. So you can follow us there. The biggest one on there is Facebook, I would say, and we do things on Facebook. We share stuff and comments, and we share fun little if we know of cons or special events coming up, we'll share them there, not just in our areas, any area we see one coming up in,
which we'll be talking about one later on too. So Jay doesn't even know that yet.
No, I didn't. So welcome to my world. Please follow, subscribe, all those good things. And we appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Now back to the show. As I was telling Jay before we went to break, this Hopkinsville Goblins case is not an isolated incident. There's actually been reports from various areas of kind of the Appalachian Mountain region of people seeing, creatures similarly described as what they have been described as in Hopkinsville. Man. Yeah.
We keep saying we need to do a whole episode on the Appalachians because it's just freaking weird. Man.
Yeah, and this we'll definitely mention this case in that episode as well because there's a lot of things that are connected, and if you actually watch what I'm about to talk about, you'll see a lot of.
Are you being attacked by goblins from space?
I think so.
I can hear it. It's a little bit of noise, but it's like a scratching, and Matt's like, I don't think Matt has a gun, so we might be okay.
Not accessible right now, but theoretically,
just be firing off at random stuff.
Yeah,
is what we're saying.
Problem is, I know what the noise actually is, and I know it. I'm not going to be firing at that situation. So.
I could take a couple of guesses.
Yeah,
what the noise is.
It's definitely one of them.
Yeah. Don't shoot them.
No,
please don't.
yeah.
So There's a clip that I brought. I don't know what episode it was on or whatever, but I think we played it on the show. But there's a clip of, and it really makes this weird now, of a barn or something, and supposed to be in the Appalachian Mountains where something's trying to break in, and they film it several times. And when you compare it to this story now, knowing this kind of stuff, it makes it a little creepier.
Yeah. So what ended up happening is I had come across this documentary series. It's actually on Amazon Prime. I believe it started off on YouTube and got picked up by Amazon Prime. So you can actually watch it on there now. It's put on by a group called Planet Weird. Planet Weird is run by a couple named Greg and Dana Newkirk, and they made a documentary series called Hellier. And it is actually based off of the Hopkinsville Goblins case, but it actually picks up years later when somebody reaches out to them and just sends an email, and he is like clearly in a bit of a panic, and he's just reaching out to somebody for help on this. He doesn't want to say like his full name. He doesn't want to say where exactly he's at. He does communicate with them off and on through these emails and sends them evidence that he has collected of what he has been reporting. And he has actually reported not only seeing these things, but he's gone out and taken photos of their footprints. So he's found these 3-toed footprints outside of his house in the mud on multiple occasions. What you see in this is like the best picture I could find of this, but that is actually a ruler next to it. And it's showing that the feet are probably about like 6 inches long. Like they're really kind of small feet. But he describes almost the exact same thing that they described in the Hopkinsville case. And as this documentary series goes on, which I highly recommend checking this out, there's multiple reports that they cover, and it actually goes pretty deep into other mythology in the Appalachian Mountains, and actually kind of includes Mothman and Indrid Cold and everything that we'll eventually cover on a Mothman episode. But they're all connected in a way. And one of the main things that they think that is connecting all of these cases is the fact that a lot of these sightings, including the one in Hopkinsville, is near the mouth of a cave system, or also potentially mines that are in the area, because that area is known for coal mining. Yeah. There's both.
Yeah. I mean, I've been out to like the touristy caves in Kentucky. There are a lot of cave systems throughout Kentucky, though. It's real common. And yes, mines, or closed, abandoned mines are all over the place too. So, that tracks.
Yeah, speaking of tracks, we got these actual like tracks that
speaking
are
of tracks
in the area. Yeah. So what I found really interesting is a lot of the people that they're actually talking to in this documentary kind of just like, I've seen this, but I don't really want to be on camera. I don't want to talk about it, kind of a thing, because they are kind of perceived as, cuckoo bananas, if you will. But the fact that there are so many people making these reports of very similar things, almost down to the exact detail, something is being seen, and it's surprisingly, to me, all near the exact same like geological location. There's also some where they have reported seeing them run into the mines to get away. So there's so much more information in this documentary.
They often backflip, moonwalk.
I know, right? Yeah. Just really strange. And that's one of the weirdest details of this whole thing is how kind of acrobatic these things are.
I picture like a Daffy Duck, like woo, 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 woo,
yeah,
like
just
running off,
just
running off into the caves.
Yeah,
that would freak me out, man. Like if I'm out there and I see this crazy little goblin thingy and it like panic and anxiety stricken Kermit the Frog, arms in the air, runs off like into a cave system. I'm like, nope. Hey, we are leaving. We're going back to the car. I'm not taking pictures of footprint. I don't.
Yeah.
It's weird because if I saw a Bigfoot, I'd be a little more inclined to be like, oh, I want to follow it. This thing, I'd be like, no,
Yeah, we're just gonna leave.
no. It
So,
ran in a cave. I'm not going in there.
so one of the things that happens in this documentary, and none of this is spoilers. It's all just part of the whole thing. Again, this gets a very high recommend. I kind of watched it knowing nothing about it. I just saw the promotional material right here, and I was like, "What's that about?" That's kind of interesting. Didn't even realize it was a documentary at the time. But during the filming of this, they're actually at a location where there's been some reports made, and they're just kind of like out on the street. And there's this kid just kind of out on the sidewalk, sees a film crew, and she goes up to them when they're not filming, and she asks, what are you guys filming, right? And she's, like under 10, whatever. And they, said, oh, we're, these people over here, they're monster hunters. And she goes, oh, and like goes over to them, start talking to them. She goes to talk to Greg and Dana Newkirk, and without being prompted at all, she just says, hey, I've seen something. And they say, well, what did you see? And she describes in detail, basically, and they are not in Hopkinsville. She describes seeing basically a Hopkinsville goblin and describes its footprint. So now keeping in mind that this is one that was sent in by the main guy that reported this, that kind of kicked off the whole documentary. She hands them this drawing that they give her this clipboard and she draws it out. And this is what she describes seeing. So
does she say where she saw it? Does she?
I can't honestly remember if she does or not. Okay. But, I mean, considering that's a child's drawing, it's pretty similar,
It's like my drawing, man.
It kind of, yeah, that's my weird hand turkey.
So it's actually probably better.
Yeah.
It's probably better than some things I could draw.
So yeah, she draws a 3-toed footprint, just like this one. She claims she saw this. This guy is in I believe it's a completely different state that he's reporting that, but she lives near a cave system or a mine. Like everything is like lining up. So what I'm saying is, when you're done watching this, switch over and watch Hellier. It's 2 seasons. Don't do it till you're done with this. Like, subscribe, like, thumbs up, comment, all that.
Because at the end, we're gonna show you something that'll blow your mind.
We will.
The credits.
the credits, yeah. Who all edited this?
Yeah.
Who all cut out the really weird noises that I made earlier?
And all the times I laughed because I couldn't help it.
So the fact that there is a unprompted random child that comes up and makes this report to them when she hears that they are monster hunters. She says, oh, I've seen a monster. This is what it looks like. Here's what its feet looked like, and draws it out for them. And it's almost identical to the thing that they're already investigating. It's weird. They actually refer to a lot of these instances as high strangeness, because it's just elevated. Like, this is all weird. Everything is connected somehow in all this. It gets a little odd at times, but it all circles back to make a lot of sense. But yeah, highly recommend watching Hellier on Amazon Prime. Give that a watch when you're done watching this. Now, we mentioned earlier, we like to talk about conventions and gatherings of various things. Mm-hmm. Well, and Jay, you might have actually mentioned this one to me the other day, but there is actually Goblin Con in Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Yep. And it'd be really cool to go sometime. Like, say, I'm about 4.5 hours away.
Well, you just may have that opportunity, because it is coming up August 22nd and August 23rd of this year in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. So if anybody goes, take pictures, especially if you see one of the goblins, real or somebody in a costume.
I was like, you're probably going to see lots of goblins.
Yeah. Take pictures, send them in. We'll put them up on screen, and we'll talk about the about your experience at Goblin Con if you go. I would love to go check this out, but I'm nowhere near Kentucky right now. But yeah, that is.
Could come visit me.
I guess
drive out there together.
go to Goblin Con.
Go to Goblin Con.
Get us to 500 subscribers, and not only will I dress up as Mumtaz Bagoom, but I will also go out for Goblin Con. And,
you guys heard it. We need some subscribers.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Matt in a little while.
Yep.
And
come out for Goblin Con dressed as Mumtaz Bagoom, walking around.
I see Matt in person
body.
about once a year. That's been
if
about
that sometimes, yeah.
The last few years,
a few.
Seen
That's true.
The last times. 3 to 4 years, we've seen each other like once a year. You came out for my wedding, then Horror Hound, and then I went out there.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I guess
yeah.
It's been a little bit more frequently, but yeah.
But cons are our thing. We dig the cons, and this is the kind of one we would really enjoy going to anyway. So,
yeah,
because all the just complete weirdness.
Yeah.
And Matt is a. So there are things about our personalities that you guys know we're very friendly people, and we talk a lot.
I think I already know where you're going with this.
I get approached for reasons unbeknownst to me by people who want to have conversations. Matt approaches people unbeknownst to them.
And that's how we met. Yeah.
So he can just have a conversation.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter who you are.
No, he doesn't care. And
yeah.
It's his wife. There's a lot of eye rolling.
She's like, oh God, Matt's talking again.
It's so funny because we both we're kind of extrovert people. I can be very introverted when I choose to be, but
me too.
Our wives are kind of introverts. Like they're
very
and like
quiet, very reserved.
Yeah, we drag them into so many things. It's like I remember my wife, her first Horror Hound, I think you were there for that one.
Oh yeah,
and she did not handle it well.
Nope.
She went to Horror Hound the following year though.
Nothing wrong with it, by the way. It is a lot.
No, it's just a lot of people. Yeah. And it's a horror movie convention, and there's a lot. And the second year she went, and I told her, you don't have to go with me, like if you don't want to. But second year went a lot better. She was a little, I think, knowing what to expect definitely helped. Like, Matt does a lot of these too, and Connie sometimes is like, "You go,
yeah, just go,
you go. I don't need to go." But yeah, this was the kind of thing we would totally be into. So we need to get the subscribers up. You guys need to hit that button. So Matt will dress up as what? What are you going to dress up
Mumtaz
as?
Bagoom.
Mumtaz Bagoom.
Yep. It's the foxy lady from the Karachi Zoo that we talked about a few episodes back.
I remember it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kind of hard not to remember it.
He will dress up as that, and he will come out and visit me, and we will go to GoblinCon. And if you're in the area, you can come out to GoblinCon and hang out with us. So we'll get a drink or something and talk goblins, and it'll be a lot of fun. So hit that subscribe button. There's more reason to hit the subscribe button, because now I'm hoping you guys do, because I want Matt to come hang out with me, and I want to go to GoblinCon. So, and I'm not going to go by myself.
Down there.
That's crazy. If you guys have heard any other stories, of the Hopkinsville or any of the goblin sightings, or if you know of any shows like that he just brought up that you would recommend to us to watch.
Oh yeah.
Let us know, because we do like to watch a lot of these kind of things. I like the ones that are a little more, like, they don't have to be new either. They can be older, but I don't like the ones that are just.
What's up, guys? Let's check out my YouTube channel. Yeah, some of those are.
I love YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube videos, but like I think you already know what I'm trying to get at without.
Yeah.
Like, let's make it
like high quality produced.
It's like I watched a video the other. No, I'm sorry. I watched.
Did you say reputable?
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Okay, which that's the thing. Hellier, very reputable sources. These are actual like investigators who they take their time and actually like take notes while they're
like, if it is clearly an insane person filming, I mean, I still might watch it, but
yeah,
I'm not good. But yeah, if you guys have any docs or something you would like us to watch, or you think we'd get into, please drop us a line or drop in the comments. We'd love to check it out.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to real quick update.
It's trying to say rural, guys.
No, I wasn't. So just don't make fun of me. we don't know if the capturing Bigfoot doc is going to see the light of day now or not. We don't really know.
I've seen some updates that there's already like a pre-save link to watch it, and that is actually an update that I came across the other day. That
Well, I
I
know
think it's
you
on
said there
going
was
to be on
some
Plex or
legal
something
issues.
potentially. Yeah,
Apparently, from what we're hearing, Bob Gimlin did not give permission to be in the video. I don't know.
yeah. You have
So
to anytime you're making a movie like that, where like if
if
somebody
they're going to
were
be,
to
you can
walk up,
film out in public
yeah,
legally,
yeah,
but you can't. If you have to get people to release the rights
the
if they're
release,
going
yeah,
to be, if they're going to be like speaking on camera and things like that. Yeah.
yeah. Because they have to agree to what they said being put out there. So
Which precisely what we thought was going to happen is what's happening. The division is insane.
yes, it is.
But I still I saw on our video Matt said Jason Matt's stance and then Jason's stance, and mine is yes, sort of like it's not that
I did that just to kind of document what it is at the time. Like
well no, it
at the
still
time
is.
of
I
filming.
still the problem I'm having, and I know I would get attacked from a lot of Bigfooters. I understand there are a lot of people that want it to be true. I want it to be true.
Yeah.
But we can't just say it's not based off of somebody's, well, this is what I think could have happened. We still have to have evidence. Both sides have to have evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem is the possible hoax side is delivering some evidence. Now we can debunk evidence. We've done that here, but you have to debunk it. You can't give a theory and your theory debunks it. You have to support that theory.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is happening. Is people want it to be true. So it's like, well, here's the evidence. Well, I don't think that evidence is legit because of this. And Matt and I go into the whole when it was filmed versus when the film was created are two different things. You can't say, well, it says 1966, therefore it was filmed in 66. We actually that doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
We don't know when it was filmed. And I bring up on that episode, like, I'd like to know when the film that they used for the actual video was it from 66 as well. So that already would suggest it's just the same film stock. But everybody's blowing up. It's all over the place. People are losing their minds. There's a lot of slinging. I wish the mudslinging wouldn't happen. I wish people could actually.
It needs to be approached with like some rationality in all this.
Yeah. I think what this shows just how personal these things can be to people. Paranormal events, weird cryptids, things that they've seen, things they've grown up with. And when things get personal or when you make them that you want to fight, like, but there are good ways and bad ways of going about it. And it's okay. If we could debunk this whole capturing Bigfoot thing, cool, let's do that.
Yeah.
But you can't just say it's not real because I said so. Like, there's way too much of that going on in the world.
Yeah,
right
that's
now.
the most annoying part about it is I said it's not real, so it's not. It's like,
So it's not real. Yeah.
and what authority are you on the subject?
I told
Give
Matt
us your evidence.
I
and then
saw a
we'll
guy
go.
online actually say, I believe the Patterson Gimlin footage is real and nothing will ever change my mind. I'm like, see, right there is your problem.
Yeah.
You have to be open. Science would tell you to always be open because science is always proving itself wrong. That's the beauty behind it. So we don't know yet when it's going to be released. I don't think we've heard rumors, but I don't think an official has yet. You said it's looking like it'll be released on Plex, which I think is.
I believe that's what I was hearing. Yeah, that it was going to be. I believe so. Yeah,
I think it's free. So, but we don't know when yet. We'll still try to keep you posted. Facebook's a really good place for that because Matt will update when he hears on the Facebook group. So you should go over and join the Facebook group because when we know. But I think most of us are real curious to see it. I want to watch it because I said in my stance, like, I want to hear the context. To me, if it's Bob Gimlin going, yeah, we staged the whole thing, then that's going to be hard. But if it's just like, was it staged? And and then it cuts to him going, yes, it was. And then cuts away. Like, wait a minute. That's not context there. I don't like that. So I want to hear the context of what things are said. And I want to see the footage. and make my own determinations.
That's
Because
the main thing.
none of us
And I believe what part of the release that I was hearing about on the Thursday part, which has come and gone, and I have not seen this footage that they're talking about. I think it was the actual footage of the alleged dry run and or the alleged recreation. It's the same footage. Whatever they're basing this off of, I think that's what they were releasing on Thursday. So we're gonna have to keep looking for that to see if we can find it, because the fact that I haven't come across it just randomly by now kind of blows my mind with the amount of Bigfoot related videos that I watch. To be fair, I've been watching a lot of like car repair videos lately because
because you bought a new car.
got a new car that needs to be repaired. So, but yeah, the ultimate thing that we're going to need to see to make any determination is the original footage that they're talking about and the subsequent documentary and the context, like Jay was saying, of everybody's claims.
Yeah.
So without seeing that as a readily available film to watch in some way, nobody on any side of this can make any determination one way or the other. And sure, there's people who have seen it and they're like, guys, it's fake. Okay, that's your opinion currently. Until everybody has all the facts,
Like,
we know nothing.
We've watched videos and went, clearly that is fake. But
yeah, we've also watched some where we went, man, this is real, and it was
pretty real,
100% fake.
So that's
and
hard.
I'll just go ahead and put one on screen of one that we considered to be real, and we've talked about it. We did the update on it and everything, and it came out to be 100% a hoax. And they owned it. They said that this is a hoax.
It wasn't even a hoax. It was a viral campaign thing they were doing.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't say it was real. I said it looked.
It looks real. And but then what's funny is
I think we both said, "Oh my god, if this is real, this is some of the best like footage ever." And it was real. It just was
it was a real guy in a costume, and in the position he was in, it looks real.
The telling, So so that's it. We'll let you know when we know more. If you hear info, please let us know. Comments or emails. Let us know if you hear any info regarding it, and we will update everybody on it there. If you enjoyed this episode, if you kind of like this story thing where we kind of just go into a topic, something we have discussed doing many times, occasionally just going into a topic kind of like this. We have some, but we weren't really sure how they'd go over because we did Spooky Scary Time early on, and it didn't. I mean, I enjoyed doing it, but if you haven't watched some of those, you should because they're fun.
Yeah, you can see where we started and how far we've come and all.
One of our real early episodes, we talk about that house in Indiana, and that is man, and that was a weird one because I bring it up and the haunted side, and Matt's like, "Oh my god, I know this story, but I know the true crime end of it."
Yeah.
And you know what?
The Foxwood Farms, I think is what.
Maybe what we'll have Matt do, if he does not mind, is do a quick edit of just that portion of it, like not the full episode, and just like release that down the line. So if you guys don't want to go back, we can just release it as a, hey, this was that Spooky Scary Time when we did it early on, because it is a creepy ass story, and just in general, and the true story is creepy. So, but if you guys like that sort of thing, let us know, and we will do more of that. Please let us know what you'd like us to talk about in any future episode. Leave comments. We love to interact with you guys. It's a lot of fun for us. I don't know, man. Do we got anything else to tell the fine folks at home? Anything? Be watching the Facebook page. We'll update you on things like the cryptid collection stuff and that which got funded pretty quick. So that's cool.
Cryptoids. Yeah,
I think we mentioned that on the last episode, but it got funded like instantly.
Yeah.
And they're doing some extras because of it.
I'll put this out as something we could potentially do. And Jay, I'll get with you more about this. So what I think we could probably do, I think it'd be kind of fun to do actually, is when the footage comes out, we could possibly do like a live version of this where we all hop on at the same time and share the video on YouTube Live or Facebook Live, and
I'll be down.
kind of watch along and see
We've
how
never
it goes.
done anything like that. It'd be fun
Yeah.
to try.
Give it a
It'd be
shot.
really cool to get. God, I love getting them on, but it everything gets crazy when we get to.
Scott and Ace. Yeah.
It
Tom.
would be fun just to get their thoughts. At least one of them, even though I don't know, they do more of the scary stuff than the.
It's more, yeah, their stuff is more ghost related. And
that might be fun to get their opinion on, like, what do you think of the original? What do you think of this? And
yeah,
so
that'd be fun.
we are working on a couple of other interviews. I will tell you, one of them said yes. It's just
Timing. Yeah.
Right now it might be very difficult. We'll probably have to follow back up and see when we can squeeze them in.
Yeah. And I'll say this, if you're watching, again, the person who made a comment, just, I mean, we'll just leave it at that.
Get the wink. I don't get the yanking your eye. What is it?
There's the Santa thing, wasn't it? Like, I don't know why
is his nose.
Yeah, so I was way off on that one.
That's it, guys. That's all we got this week. We thank all of you for watching once again. Please subscribe if you have not. Let's get Matt out here for GoblinCon. And until that happens, guys, and even after that happens,
yeah, you have until August. So
there's one thing you should do. Probably need to do it before August, so we have time to get about here. But before and after GoblinCon, there's something you guys should all do. You guys should all
keep it creepy.
This is kind of creepy. Goosebumps rising on my spine.